Is that? Just a few words, but Allah Hafiz, something like that. بقية الإقرار.
حياك الله.
كما نروح شيء. ليش هذا 9:15. 59. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Welcome to the part 2 of this presentation all about Zakat for Muslims in the US. If you recall, the last concept we discussed yesterday was combining assets to reach Nisab. Just remember that? Well, let's move on. Consistency of processing the threshold. Is it really required that you have to keep a minimum of nisab throughout the whole year? Providing that sometimes people in business, sometimes they get their assets like fluctuated, cash money, even asset itself. Sometimes it goes up, it goes down. Sometimes you're on cash of, out of cash. Sometimes you receive tens of thousands of dollars and on. Here is the answer. As long as you have nisab, which is the threshold, the minimum amount, and you have the same at least in the zakat due date, then regardless of the fluctuation throughout the whole year, you are fine. You still have to pay zakat. Even if you went beyond the nisab throughout the year. So this is the standard. Nisab at the beginning of the hawl, which is obvious because you cannot even start your hawl without having nisab. Your hawl starts by default whenever you constitute a nisab, whenever you reach the minimum amount of a certain kind of asset, whether it is bahimatul an'am or business or cash money or gold or silver or agriculture products or whatever the asset might be. Once you constitute a nisab, then your hawl starts by default. In the next year, the same day, if you still have a minimum of nisab and up, then you have to pay your zakat. So no need to maintain the nisab during the whole year. Zakat money is what you have at the zakat due date, regardless of the fluctuated position during the year. If you are a professional or you provide a professional service, I think yesterday, by the way, we mentioned this point, that you shouldn't worry about the flow of income that you have throughout the whole year. Even if you make money on a daily basis, if you provide service, if you are, for example, an engineer or a CPA or a lawyer or medical doctor, regardless of how much money you make every day, this is not the way that you should calculate your zakat, regardless. No matter how much you receive, no matter how much you spend, that's fine. And the zakat due date, if you have enough money to pay zakat and mal, then you pay zakat. So do not worry about what you have spent already. Do not worry about the flow of income throughout the whole year. Some people sometimes make money on a daily basis. If you want to keep this money in your possession for one complete year, as we said yesterday, you're going to end up with having 365 hawla, 365 zakat due date, which is obviously not correct, not right. Jewelry and ornaments. Nowadays, regardless of what kind of jewelry our sisters or wives or daughters have, anything that is like counted or considered as jewelry is jewelry. It doesn't have to be pure gold, doesn't have to be silver, even if it is like, for example, diamonds or minerals or any precious stones or whatever, has an extraordinary or like really precious and has a high value, will be counted as jewelry. Now this is a very, I would say, debatable issue between different madahib. Most of our brothers and sisters from the Indo-Pan community, they pay zakat al-mal in jewelry because most of them, if not all of them, they follow the school of thought of Imam Abu Hanifa. The most correct opinion here, and I think we touched on it yesterday, we said that the personal belongings are exempted from zakat al-mal. Obviously, this is not the only evidence we have. We have many evidences that al-huli or jewelry are exempted from zakat al-mal. As long as, number one, the jewelry owned by a certain sister are within the average, and the average actually differs from one society to another, from one era to another, from one country to another, from one culture to another. So we cannot say, for example, a sister here has $20,000 jewelry. She has to pay zakat because other ladies in her age back in Jordan or Palestine or in Malaysia have only 5,000. Well, Malaysia has its own average, and here in the US we have our own. So I would say here in the US up to 10, 15, 20,000. This is what usually women have. Whatever is counted as within the average is exempted from zakat, as long as this is number one. And number two, if there is no commercial purposes behind it, because some people nowadays might buy gold just to store the value of the currency, and to stand against or to set up the inflation instead of losing the value of money, instead of investing the money, they prefer just to, I would say, freeze the value by buying some jewelry. If this is the case, then that's a commercial purpose, and this actually would defeat the purpose of having the jewelry for personal use. It's not for personal use anymore. It is to be paid zakat on. Attaining the quantity of extravagance or of use for a store of wealth makes the surplus zakatable. Say, for example, the average in the US is 10,000. If a lady or a sister has 50,000, then the first 10,000 are exempted, and the remaining 40,000 are to be paid zakat, because this is way above the average. Always staying in the safe side is preferred. When we say that from a fiqh perspective we don't have to pay zakat jewelry, it doesn't mean that we are encouraging people not to pay zakat. I mean, what I say always, go ahead and pay zakat if you would like to. But fiqh-wise, do you have to pay zakat on the jewelry if you like, or does she have to pay zakat on her jewelry? The answer is absolutely no. The Prophet ﷺ said, لَيْسَ عَلَى الْمُسْلِمِ فِي فَرَسِهِ وَلَا خَاتِمِهِ صَدَقَةً أو وَلَا عَبْدِهِ صَدَقَةً. The meaning of the hadith that whatever is counted as personal belonging, the furniture that you have in your house, your personal transportation, your house itself, the clothes and the food and whatever you have, at home for your personal use are exempted. So what's the difference between all what we have mentioned versus jewelry? It should be included, because those jewelry are for personal use and not for any commercial purpose. Retirement fund, we have too many opinions nowadays, and the reason behind having differences in opinion is that this issue is a very contemporary issue. I mean, even if you go to the classical fiqh resources that we all have and we're all proud of, you will not find a straightforward answer for the retirement account, because that's something new. Long time ago, during the lifetime of Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, Ahmad, and Malik and other great imams, there was nothing like this. So the contemporary scholars have to apply what's called the ijtihad, or independent reasoning, to find out a solution for this question. I do have a retirement account, pension plan, 529 for the education of my kids, 401k, annuity, halal one, obviously not a haram one. Do I have to pay zakat on it or not? The problem here is that all these accounts, individual retirement account, that is a Roth or this legal one, certificate of deposit, you do not have full access to these accounts. And we mentioned yesterday that al-mulk al-tam, or the full complete possession, is one of the requirements and the conditions for the zakatability of the wealth. You still remember that? Here is the problem. You do not have full access to those accounts. Because, for example, 401k is a federal regulated account to serve people having financial stability whenever they reach the age of retirement, or Allah forbids in case of death or disability. So it has to to stay away from you. I mean, you should not have an access to it, because it is designated for your benefit in a certain circumstance, in a certain situation, after a certain age. So that's why you do not have full access to it. Now, on the contrary, the money that you have in your 401k is under investment. I mean, it is increasing, sometimes decreasing because of the financial crisis that we experienced back in 2008, 2009. But generally speaking, I mean, this is like an increasing account. I mean, you gain money on a regular basis. So because of the growability of the retirement account, it is zakatable. Because of lacking full access, it is not zakatable. We in our council in Amjad, we came up with with a reasonable formula to answer this question. We said that you should go with the withdrawable amount, how much you can withdraw from your 401k. I mean, this is a very hypothetical calculation. You don't have to withdraw the money. And the zakat due date, you need to pick up the phone and call Fidelity or whatever the investment company might be. If I want to withdraw from the $100,000 that I have in my 401k account, how much I will be having access to? Say, for example, 50,000. And if I decide to withdraw 50,000, I will be penalized. I will be charged sometimes interest, sometimes service fees, sometimes penalty, whatever the charge might be. So I should go with a very theoretical calculation. 50,000 minus $2,000 interest, minus $2,000 service fees, minus $1,000 penalty. The net is 45,000, for example. 45,000 is zakatable based on 2.5% zakat. Someone might say, well, practically speaking, I do have an access to the whole amount. If I decide today to withdraw all of what I have in my 401k or whatever the retirement fund might be, if this is the case, then believe it or not, you have to pay zakat al-mal on an annual basis. In the zakat due date, you have to calculate accurately how much you have and how much you will be getting. I mean, the net amount after deducting all the aforementioned charges, penalty, tax, service fees, whatever. The net amount is subject to zakat. You put it in the pool of money in addition to the saving that you still have at home, in addition to the saving that you have in your checking account or saving account, in addition to the money that sometimes you put them تحت البلاطة ولا مش عارف فوق السقف ولا whatever, you hide the money, put them together and you do your calculation based on 2.5% zakat rate. So it is zakat rate. Now, if you ask somebody else, might give a different answer. Don't worry about the zakat of your retirement account because it is inaccessible to you. Wait until you actually receive your money, and then you pay your zakat. Okay. If you ask somebody else, the answer might be different. You have to pay zakat on the actual amount that you have in your account, regardless of any prescribed penalty or charge. Different opinions, again, because this is amr ijtihadi. It's based on the independent reasoning of people of knowledge. That's why they differ. To the best of my knowledge, I mean, this is the most, I would say, reasonable approach. It is a growable source of income that you have, then you have to pay zakat. It is fair enough to say that you don't have to pay zakat on the whole amount, because if you decide to withdraw, you will be charged some money. So why should you pay zakat on the charge that will be taken from you? Allah. Stocks, shares, and bonds. Bonds actually is not an option for Muslims, especially for practicing Muslims, because bond is an interest-bearing loan. You lend to the federal government whenever you have a bond, or sometimes they call it a T-bill, like a treasury bill. Regardless of the maturity of the T-bill that you have, it could be 3 months, it could be 3 years. I mean, all these technicalities have nothing to do with the status of holding bonds from a fiqh or Islamic perspective. It is haram. It's not an option for you to start it because it is an interest-bearing bond. However, holding stocks and shares is permissible as long as those stocks belong to a company or a business or entity that its core business is halal. Its core business is halal. Because the stock actually represents an ownership of an unspecified percentage of the actual capital of that company. So if you hold, for example, stocks for Walmart, it means that you are one of the owners of this company. If you hold the stocks for Microsoft, for example. It means that you own certain percentage of this company and on. Now, people who have stocks in the market usually have one of two different approaches or two different choices, if we put it this way. Sometimes you feel happy with keeping the stocks in your position. You do not show interest in speculating, buying and selling and just watching the news every day and the index, and if it goes up, you sell, if it goes down, you buy. You are not that interested. This is one approach, this is one option. And the other one, you might take those stocks as a trade by itself, as a commodity. You keep buying and selling, obviously through a third party or the mediator or the commissioner who does the business in your behalf. But you are willing and you do speculating in the stock market. You always buy and sell. If this is your option, then the whole market value of the stocks are counted as commodity. You have to pay Zakat on the profit and in the market value of the stocks as well. So if your stock's worth $10,000 and you made $1,000 of profit, then you have to pay Zakat based on $11,000. If you go with option one, which is just to keep the money, to keep the stocks, and you are happy with the dividend that you take toward the end of the fiscal year or the course of the business, then you pay Zakat only on the profit, because the stocks in this case will be counted like it's not a time in Texas. So if your option is to keep the possession or the ownership of the stocks, and you are happy with the dividend that you take toward the end of the year, then you pay Zakat only and only on the profit or on the dividend, because stocks in this case will be taking the same rule of exploited assets that we explained yesterday. Like if you have a laboratory or taxi cab or rental property, it's not for sale, it's not for trading purposes. You keep it for yourself and you generate money or revenue out of leasing or renting the property or using it or providing a service like a laboratory. Then you pay Zakat on the ghalla, on the income, on the revenue that you make out of having such a business. What if someone already got involved in having bonds, he or she did not know that bonds are haram? It might have. Well, here's the answer. Whatever you make from such a business, such a trade in the stock market, has to be getting rid of in full. You made $2,000 profit from the bonds that you had. It's not a profit. It's a profit. It's a profit in the industry, but it is riba in our Sharia nowadays. So you have to get rid of the whole $2,000 in our example in full. Inna Allah Ta'ala tayyibun la yaqbalu illa tayyib. And the fact that you pay 2.5% in the haram money does not and will not purify the haram money, because it is haram by itself. The way that you generated the money is a haram money. So to clear your record with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to get rid of the total amount. If you did not know that, okay, and you already got some money from bonds and you spent them, afallahu an the fact that you did not know will be a sufficient excuse for you not to be held accountable for. From now on, since you knew now, then you have to stop dealing with bonds. Now, how about the actual loan? You made $2,000 profit or interest from a bond that's worth $20,000, say, for example. So toward the maturity of the bond, you get your money back. Is that correct? Now, what should you do with the $20,000? You pay Zakat on 2.5%, because the actual amount does not have any riba involvement. You lended $20,000, you got them in full. Whenever you get your money back, okay, the net amount that is pure from any or filterized from any riba, then you have to pay Zakat on it based on 2.5% Zakat rate. in some countries, to my knowledge until today, in Saudi Arabia, for example, they do have a law there that companies who are officially registered with the Ministry of Industry or whatever the authority might be, they have to pay zakat on the entity itself. I mean, by law. You show them your paperwork toward the end of the year, the profit and the loss, and based on the profit that you made, they calculate the zakat, and they have to pay zakat on the company, on the profit that belongs to the company, regardless of how many people are involved in, regardless of how much is the percentage of each partner in case of having like partnership. So they charge you zakat, on the profit of the company itself. If this is the case, and your profit from that particular company has been charged zakat already, then you don't have to pay zakat one more time whenever you get your dividend. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, لا ثانية في الصدقة, there is no obligation in paying zakat. Loans, zakah or zakah and loan. This is one of the masail where the Prophet ﷺ did not mention anything in this regard. He did not talk about zakat al-dayn. If someone is involved in dayn, whether you are the creditor or the debtor, the lender or the borrower. There is nothing in the authentic sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ tackling or answering this question. And that's why we have different madhab and different opinions in this regard. To the best of my knowledge, for the lender himself, he or she does not have to worry about paying zakat on the loan that he gave to other people. You just wait until you get your money back, and then during the zakat due date, you put that money. If you actually received it, you put it in the pool of money that you have, along with other resources of income that you might have, and you pay zakat one time. This is one opinion. There are some other opinions, but this is, to the best of my knowledge, this is the most correct one. Because you as a lender, you do not have an access to the money. And believe it or not, sometimes you get your money back, sometimes you do not get your money. Unfortunately, I mean, some people take advantage. Unfortunately, some Muslims even take advantage. When you give him, your Muslim brother, you give him money with the hope to pay you back after a few months. Sometimes you keep waiting for a few months, for a few years, and the money is gone. There is no money. So you should not worry about paying the zakat on the money that you do not possess. We mentioned many times yesterday that al-mulk al-tam, having full possession or full access to your money, is one of the requirements or the conditions for the zakatability of the money. Once the money is gone or given to somebody else, just put it in hold. Okay, take it off from your calculation until you receive your money and then you pay zakat. Now this is for the lender himself. How about the borrower? If you say that the borrower does not own the money, then you're going to end up with not paying zakat on this particular amount. I mean, the lender is not paying, and the borrower is not paying. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, someone has to be shown. Here is the answer again. For the borrower, actually, he is the owner of the money. Even if you own the lender that particular amount of money, but for the time being, as long as the money is in your possession, it's your decision. You can do whatever you want. If I borrowed, for example, $10,000 to make a surgery for my son, and then I change my mind, I get the $10,000, and then I change my mind, I just upgrade my business. I mean, the lender can't say nothing. It's my decision. So with this in mind, I'm the owner of the money. Based on that, I have to pay zakat on the money that I have. When it comes to when the loan is due and I have to pay it back, if I'm to pay zakat al-mal on my personal money, then it's a very simple calculation. I just deduct those 10,000 from the pool of money that I have, and I do my calculation based on the remaining amount after paying off the debt. If you are involved in monthly payments, whether it is for furniture that you have bought already, or car, or house, and regardless of the permissibility of this payment, even if you are involved in a haram mortgage, you already bought your house in a haram way, in a mortgage, in a traditional, conventional mortgage, which is absolutely haram, this actually does not negate the fact that deducting the payment is permissible. So say for example that your zakat is due in the beginning of Ramadan, like many people do nowadays for the barakah of paying zakat al-mal in Ramadan. In that particular month, you had to pay your mortgage, $1,500, and you have another $500 for your car, another $500 for your furniture, and you have another $500. So the total is, say, $2,500. Okay, and the pool of money after deducting everything, the remaining amount is $20,000. So you remove those $2,500 and you pay zakat on $17,500. Again, regardless of the status of the payment, whether it is a halal payment or a haram one, this has nothing to do with the zakatability or the deductibility of the money. You deduct whatever you have to pay, and the remaining money is the zakatable one. How to determine the value of the assets that you have if you are a merchant, if you are a businessman? Say for example that you have a candy business, okay? In the zakat due date, you have a lot of candy in the shelves in your store. How should you calculate your zakat? How to determine the value of the candy? I can give you three different scenarios. You can go with the invoice, right? How much you actually paid. You already paid to the wholesaler to get all the candy that you have in your store. This approach is not fair enough because the market value might change. What if you paid already $50,000 to buy all the candy you have in your store, and today in the zakat due date, just hypothetically say that all the candy that you have get expired. What is the market value of the candy? $0. You see? So it's not fair to charge you zakat or to pay zakat based on $50,000 because the market value today in the zakat due date is $0. Does that make sense? Let's go with the second option, which is to go with the retail value. With the retail value, if the retail value is $60,000 in the zakat due date, should you pay zakat al-mal based on $60,000 or not? You should not. Or you don't have to, put it in a nice way. You don't have to pay zakat. Say that the $50,000 is the wholesale market value and $10,000 is a profit. So the retail value is $60,000. If you pay zakat al-mal $60,000, it means that you pay zakat on $10,000 in which you did not generate yet. What if for some reason you did not sell the candy that you have? So there is a kind of injustice if you go with this approach. The third and the last one is to go with what is called the wholesale market value. It's a very simple concept. If I do not have the candy in my store today, the zakat due date, and I'm willing to buy all what I have from the wholesaler, how much I am willing to pay to buy all what I have? It could be in our example, $40,000. The market value, the wholesale, if I'm to buy all what I have in my store from the wholesaler, how much I am based on the market and the supply and demand and other driving factors, how much I am willing to pay to the wholesaler to get all what I have today in my store in the zakat due date. If it is only $30,000, this is the market value, then I should pay zakat on the $30,000. This is, wallah, I would say, the most reasonable and the most just and fair approach, is to go with the wholesale market value, not with the invoice and not with the retail value. Allah. Agriculture products, again, this is another, I would say, area of disagreement between scholars. The most sound and genuine opinion, wallahu alam, is the school of thought of Imam Abu Hanifa, where he said that everything that land produces is subject to zakat. Everything, including fruits, including vegetables, including whatever. Because the other madhab, the other fuqaha, they said that that only the storable food, like grain, like beans, what else, barley, or otherwise grape or date fruit. Grape or date fruit. I mean, those are the different kinds that have been mentioned in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ or the Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. However, nowadays I mean, if the reason behind restricting the zakah on those items because they are storable and they can be stored for a long time, then nowadays, I mean, with the high technology that we have, everything actually is storable. I mean, even the fresh food, you can keep it in the fridge for days, for weeks, for months. Sometimes you can freeze a certain kind of food and you can just reuse it whenever you want. So with this in mind, everything, whether it is the food or vegetables or crops or whatever the agricultural product might be, is subject to zakah based on the hadith of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. ليس فيما دون خمسة أوسق من صدقة. When it comes to the volume or the amount of the product, it should be خمسة أوسق. The problem here is that the wasaq is a volume, it's not a weight. See, it's a volume, it's a hajm. However, if you want to approximately estimate it, it could be up to 640 plus kilograms or 1440 pounds. So if you have a weight that is, because I mean, we do not use the wasaq anymore. Something that's a kind of measurement has been used during the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ. So you can go with just 1,440 pounds, like net product. I mean, after just filterizing and cleaning, I mean the net product. If it is 1,440 pounds and up, then it is subject to zakah based on 5% if it is irrigated, as we explained yesterday, or 10% if it is non-irrigated products. No zakah is due on the agricultural land itself, because of the same reason, لا ثانية في صدقة, there is no duplication in paying zakat on land. So if you pay zakat on the products, then the land itself is free of zakah, you don't have to pay zakat. Livestock, let me just touch on it quickly. If it is an ovine, which is sheep, lamb and goat, you start with 40. If you have less than 40, even if it is for commercial purposes, it is exempted from zakat al-mal. So from 40 to